It all began surprisingly, with Charity trying to do something kind. Because her stepdaughter Sarah was unable to have children due to health issues, Charity stepped in and agreed to carry a baby for her and Jacob. But things quickly went wrong, as they often do with her. After a heated argument with Mackenzie, she ended up having a casual fling with Ross Barton, the local bad boy. A few weeks later, Charity found out she was pregnant, and at first there was celebration all around. However, Ross grew suspicious about the timing and even tried to get close to Mackenzie to find out the truth. For months, Charity worked hard to cover her tracks and stop anyone from discovering what really happened. She even went as far as faking DNA test results to convince Ross he wasn't the father and keep him away. Although Ross eventually learned the baby wasn't his, he only knows part of the truth and still believes the child belongs to Sarah and Jacob, unaware of the affair. Charity managed to keep everything hidden for a long time, but that is set to change when she goes into labor during Sarah's baby shower, and everything is revealed. Whether life will ever be the same again remains to be seen. Emma Atkins has shared insight into Charity's mindset, explaining that she is completely focused on giving the baby to Sarah and Jacob, and believes she can still control the situation, trusting that Ross and Mackenzie will keep quiet for now. However, that belief doesn't last. In upcoming scenes, Charity is unexpectedly taken to hospital after going into labor while collecting items for the baby shower. Ross ends up arriving at the scene, making the situation even more awkward and shocking for her. Things then become far more serious when Charity suffers complications in hospital and begins to hemorrhage. At that moment, the risk of her secret being exposed becomes less important than the danger to her life. After the birth, Charity will continue living in fear of the truth coming out at any time. Every conversation and interaction becomes a risk, especially with Ross still around. She knows she must stay constantly alert, aware that one slip could expose everything and destroy trust within the family. As for Sarah, she is expected to struggle with the revelation, and Charity is determined not to hurt her. However, the emotional bond with the baby raises difficult questions about whether she will truly be able to give the child away when the time comes. Emmerdale is set to continue its increasingly dark storyline involving Dr. Todd, with the situation worsening for Jacob Sugden. The workplace bullying plot has shown Todd targeting Jacob and leaving him doubting his abilities as a doctor. In recent episodes, Dr. Todd has also moved into the village. Last week, she told Manpreet Sharma and Vanessa Woodfield that one of her students had developed an inappropriate crush on her. Speaking about the character, Caroline Harker revealed she had no idea how far the storyline would develop when she first joined the soap in a short-term role. She explained that while nothing was confirmed at the time, she sensed the character was being well received in the hospital setting. She initially believed Todd would act more like a supportive, maternal presence for Jacob, rather than taking a darker direction. Harker also said the character has a strong personality, but she expected that strength to be used differently. She added that, in her view, Todd believes she is not at fault for what is happening. This week, Jacob decides to formally report Todd to HR, marking a major turning point in the storyline. Harker has said she is enjoying the development and finds the script surprising and challenging. When asked if Dr. Todd could be redeemed, Harker suggested that it would require a major change in her life, possibly including therapy or a complete personal transformation, though she still believes most people have the potential for redemption under the right circumstances. Emmerdale star Laura Norton has hinted at what lies ahead for Kerry Pollard and Jai Sharma's relationship, suggesting that tougher times could still be on the horizon despite their current happiness. Earlier this year, Kerry and Jai unexpectedly began a romance at work, going to great lengths to keep their secret fling hidden from their colleagues. Kerry is still technically married to Eric for tax reasons, and he was initially furious when he found out about her affair with Jai. At one point, he even pretended to be unwell or injured in an attempt to keep Kerry close to him. Since then, Eric has accepted the relationship and given the couple his blessing, allowing Kerry and Jai to finally go public and see where things go between them. However, speaking in an interview, Laura Norton explained that while the pair are currently enjoying a happy stage, their differences could become an issue as the relationship develops. She suggested that Jai has become more light-hearted and playful since being with Kerry, but questioned whether their personalities are compatible enough for something long-term. She added that relationships often reach a point where people decide whether they are similar enough to make things work. But she is unsure if Kerry and Jai will be able to overcome their differences when that moment arrives. For now, though, she described Kerry as simply enjoying the relationship. Norton also reflected on Kerry's past, particularly the death of her daughter Amy in the limo crash last year. She said she would like to see a storyline that explores Kerry's grief more deeply, showing her confronting her loss and eventually healing before finding happiness again. She imagined a future where Kerry moves through her grief and eventually finds lasting love, suggesting the character could still be heading towards a more hopeful and joyful ending. Emmerdale's Moira Dingle has found herself in an unexpected new feud shortly after being released from prison. The character has spent most of the year behind bars after being wrongly accused of human trafficking and double murder, before finally being released earlier this week. Returning home, Moira discovered that life had changed significantly. She had previously sold Butler's farm to the Tates, who later passed control to Robert Sugden and Aaron Dingle. As a result, Moira is now adjusting to a very different living situation at Wishingwell Cottage. In recent scenes, Moira struggled to settle in, leading to a series of tense and often humorous clashes with Sam, Lydia, and other family members. One moment saw Moira complain about Belle taking too long in the bathroom, only to be reminded by Lydia that there was a rota in place. Moira reacted sharply, joking that she felt like she was still in prison. Tensions rose further at breakfast when Lydia prepared rabbit stew. Moira warned her that Isaac wouldn't eat it if it contained peas, prompting Lydia to raise concerns about the child not getting enough vegetables. Moira took offense at what she saw as criticism of her parenting. Later, Moira confided in Kane, expressing frustration that she felt she was being judged and unable to relax in her own home. However, when Lydia overheard parts of the conversation, the situation escalated further. Lydia questioned whether Moira should simply return to prison if she was unhappy, leading to a heated exchange. Kane eventually stepped in, urging Moira to be more considerate towards his family, but she stormed out in frustration. With tensions now clearly rising, it remains to be seen whether Moira and Kane can resolve the situation, or whether a deeper feud within the household is about to unfold. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.